Have you ever made a plan at night? Tomorrow I will wake up early, work out, study, learn English, work on my business, and completely change my life. And then tomorrow comes. You wake up, check your phone, and suddenly 1 hour is gone. Then you tell yourself, I'm just lazy. But what if that's not the complete explanation? I am actually trying to understand this because consistency is one of the biggest things I am struggling with in my own life. So I started looking into what psychology and behavioral science actually says about procrastination. And I found something interesting. Procrastination isn't simply being lazy. Researchers have found relationships between procrastination and things like how unpleasant a task feels, how far away the reward is, impulsiveness, and our ability to regulate ourselves. Think about two choices. Choice number one, work on something difficult for 1 hour today with the reward coming months from now. Choice number two, open Instagram. The reward is immediate. Your brain doesn't have to wait. That's one reason the easier and more immediately rewarding option can become very attractive. And this creates a problem. We keep waiting for motivation, but motivation isn't stable. Some days you have it, some days you don't. So instead of asking how can I become motivated for every day, a better question is how can I make the behavior easier to start? And this is where one of my favorite behavioral strategies comes in. It's called an implementation intention. Basically, instead of saying I will exercise tomorrow, you create an if then rule. If it is 7 pm, then I will start my workout. That's much more specific. You're deciding beforehand what you're going to do when a particular situation happens. And there is another thing I have started thinking about. Don't make the first step huge. If I tell myself I need to study English for 2 hours today, my brain may immediately think that sounds like a lot of work. Instead, I can say, I will practice speaking English for 5 minutes. The goal The goal isn't necessarily to finish everything in 5 minutes. The goal is to overcome the resistance to starting because once you start, continuing can become easier. And this doesn't mean that 5 minutes will magically solve procrastination. It simply makes the starting point smaller. There is always something important about habits. People sometimes say it takes 21 days to build a habit. That's not a scientific law. Researchers on habit formation has found that the time needed for behaviors to become more automatic varies considerably between people and behaviors. So don't become obsessed with the number, focus on repetition in a consistent situation. For example, after breakfast, English practice, at 7 pm workout, after dinner read 10 pages. You are giving your brain a predictable cue. And I'm trying to apply this to my own transformation because my goal isn't to become perfect. I want to become someone who takes action even when I don't feel like it. So here is the experiment I'm starting. For the next 7 days, I'm going to choose 3 behaviors, one for my body, one for my mind, and one for my career. And instead of depending on motivation, I will attach each behavior to a specific cue. Maybe I will fail, maybe I will miss a day, but I will learn something from it. And that's actually the bigger lesson. Self transformation isn't about becoming a completely different person overnight. It's about understanding your behavior, changing your environment, making good actions easier, and repeating them long enough for them to become part of your life. So, the next time you procrastinate, don't immediately call yourself lazy. Ask yourself, what exactly am I avoiding? Is the task too difficult? Is the reward too far away? Is there an easier distraction available? And most importantly, what is the smallest action I can take right now? Because sometimes the difference between thinking about changing your life and actually changing it is simply starting with something small.